Potential misuse of public funds and theft in office. There is substantial evidence suggesting that senior administrators at Cleveland Metropolitan School District, CMSD, may have engaged in the misuse of public funds, rising to the level of theft in office under Ohio Revised Code Section 2921.41. These expenditures demonstrate a pattern of prioritizing personal comfort and non-essential spending over student needs and essential educational services. Web 004. Notable examples include lavish office furniture purchases. Dr. Trent Mosley, Chief of Equity and Culture, and Dr. Warren Morgan authorized multiple high-cost purchases for their offices, including standing desks, ergonomic chairs, cooling and vibrating massage chairs, storage cabinets, and dry erase boards. Costs for these items range from hundreds to thousands of dollars per purchase. Many of these acquisitions occurred during periods of documented budget deficits, raising serious questions about their necessity and appropriateness. And several were egregious enough to receive media attention. Excessive event spending. CMSD spent $11,580 on tickets for Dr. Morgan's State of the School speech at the City Club, despite the district facing a major budget shortfall and declining enrollment. These expenditures did not directly benefit students and appear inconsistent with the district's stated financial priorities. Delayed payments causing personal risk to residents. CMSD repeatedly failed to process timely payments for book fare receipts submitted to Scholastic, resulting in collection notices being sent to private individuals, e.g., book fare chairs. This forced residents to manage financial risk for public funds that should have been properly handled by the district. Questionable administrative practices. There is evidence that CMSD's administrative team directs resources toward public relations and data manipulation rather than equitable student outcomes. For example, teachers were instructed to focus instruction only on students near proficiency benchmarks to improve reported test scores, leaving other students without necessary support. Collectively, these practices indicate a potential pattern of theft in office, misappropriation of funds, and fiscal mismanagement. I request that the Auditor's Office conduct a comprehensive investigation into these expenditures, including but not limited to documentation of all office furniture and equipment purchases for CMSD administrators, including costs, justifications, and approval processes, records of all event-related expenditures paid for by CMSD, including tickets, meals, and travel, evidence of internal controls, or lack thereof regarding timely processing of public funds, particularly in relation to payments owed to vendors or third parties. Examination of spending priorities in the context of district budget deficits and declining enrollment, including potential misuse of taxpayer funds. These actions, if verified, constitute a misuse of public funds that directly harm students, taxpayers, and the integrity of the school system. A thorough audit and investigation are essential to ensure accountability, transparency, and compliance with Ohio law. Say Yes program concerns. The Say Yes program raises a substantial number of red flags regarding its operations, financial practices, and reporting. The volume and seriousness of these concerns are significant enough that addressing them fully will require a separate, detailed complaint outlining allegations of extensive fraud, mismanagement, and potential theft. This narrative is intended to alert the auditor that the issues are substantial and warrant dedicated investigation. The Cleveland Metropolitan School District has become known not merely as a conduit from school to prison for our children, but as a system that endangers the well-being of the entire community. This reality is reflected in alarming rates of student suicides and the tragic loss of 4 special education teachers who reportedly took their own lives after repeated abuse from CMSD executives. The harm is not confined to classrooms. Parents themselves are facing a growing mental health crisis, directly fueled by executive bullying, alleged extortion, and systemic failures that leave families in despair. Public trust in CMSD leadership, including the Board of Education and the Bond Accountability Commission, has collapsed. Residents have no democratic avenue to change the CEO and are left to depend on state and federal authorities to intervene. The frustration is visible. Homemade signs denounce CMSD leaders as corrupt. Artists are creating entire projects to expose fraud. Watchdog groups are uniting, and social media platforms dedicated to holding CMSD leadership accountable publicly are growing in number. Multiple petitions, at least 5 to date, demand sweeping change at every level of district leadership. The scope and severity of these issues go far beyond poor management. They represent systemic corruption, a pattern of negligence, and a public crisis that threatens the safety of children, parents, and teachers alike. We urge the Auditor of State to conduct an immediate, independent investigation and to use the full extent of your authority to enforce transparency, restore accountability, and protect Cleveland's public schools from further harm. This submission represents the second installment in an ongoing series of living documents, which will continue to be updated as new evidence and information come to light. Consistent with the initial submission, all updates will be formally provided to the state of Ohio as they are compiled. Given the gravity of the allegations, the extensive scope of suspected fraud, and the profound impact on students, families, and educators, it is imperative that this submission be reviewed immediately in its current form. Ongoing attention and action are required, and supplemental evidence will be submitted on a continuous basis as the community's investigation progresses.